and shine. This morning, marijuana motivation time is a serious time because your boy, Marky Saint, has just realized his male toxicity. That's right. This morning, marijuana motivation, I'm going to do an hour show. I have mushrooms in my pocket. I have thoughts in my head. And as of last night, after going through many different videos about the power and control circle, something I never learned before. It's called the Duluth method. It came from Duluth, Minnesota. After a lot of domestic violence cases happened, they interviewed not only the men, but the women and found out what was happening with violence and sexual, not harassment, but, there's sexual violence. I'm going to show it to everybody. It's a power wheel. I actually brought my other phone so I could show everyone this extremely important, life-changing event for me. And as much as I'd like to be, just all butterflies and rainbows and sunshine, but you can do the work on time too. You can look it up yourself. Power and control wheel. Just a simple Google search and you can see it right off the bat. I need this. I had to keep this going because I need a reference points, but physical violence and sexual violence is a real thing. It's a power and control wheel. And like I said, I'm gonna get over here to my shiny spot and dive into this. But if you're getting to this morning, I'm already emotional. I already want to cry because I basically ruined my life. Somewhere between my father abusing me and me being an abuser, it has come inside of me. It has permeated my life, and I didn't know it. Okay, I didn't know it. It needs to be said. I had false leadership. When I grew up, it's so bright and hot. When I grew up, I was taught by force. A lot of people hide, especially in like Christian religion. They were just talking about this. One of the episodes I was watching was them being honest and open. The man stood at the pulpit and said, my dad was a figure in the community. He was the typical, prototypical man. But at home, he was violent. It's easy to go to church. It's kind of the hidden secret that, I'm the man. I discipline my children like I discipline my dogs. And if you're like anyone else that's ever seen this before, you know what that discipline's like. I never liked the taste of it. And somehow it ended up enveloping me. When I get scared, I get violent. I go into this protection mechanism that both me and my brother had. And as of yesterday, when I had the conversation with my mom, tears in my eyes, she was abused too. It is so hard to talk about abuse. It is so hard to talk about shame. I want to be rah-rah siskumba all the time. But anybody that knows me and knows my show and knows Saint's Addiction, that I was honest about my addictions up front. I was honest about my psychology and my weaknesses. It's so much easier to just say, hey, I got straight teeth, I got a nice beard, I'm muscular. Just look at my exterior and don't look at my interior. Don't look at the drapes. Just look out the window. And as I looked out the window yesterday, instead of staring at the fucking screen or my computer desktop or the wall, I realized that I wasn't living my life. I was held back. As the woman was saying it yesterday, her name is Mel Robbins. I looked it up. I said Mel Gibson yesterday. That ain't it. Mel Robbins. Chick wears glasses. She's really smart. Get a chance to check her out. Talking about 5-second decisions and how we make. Hold on a sec. How we make a fuckload of decisions because of uncomfortability, right? We have instincts, we have sight, we have sound, we have so many things that cues us as people, yet we might not take that chance because we have learned that things happen. We talk ourselves out of it. We literally feel a bunch of emotions between the instinct and 5 seconds later. And in that 5 seconds, we decide, right, as people, that it might not be worth it anymore. In that 5 seconds, we will disregard our initial instincts and start believing the negativity. We start believing the laziness. We start believing the voices and the feelings that tell us we can't do something. Now, hold on, I'm gonna put this phone up so I can finish this. It's important today. I put that up here yesterday. It was perfect. Perfect. Let me get a little water in me. It's a hard one, dude. It's a hard one because it's gonna be real. This is the realest show I've ever did. So good. My pants keep falling off. I keep losing weight. Hair's going crazy. My eyes are fire from fucking crying. This is what's ended up happening. I left 2 emails to my ex apologizing. This woman put her life on the line. She put her family on the line, literally her life, her physical health, because it's hard having a baby. She was already throwing up a lot and having really bad morning sickness. I didn't help ease that, you know? If you're gonna go through something as big as having a baby, you're gonna need more support than I gave. And the embarrassing part is I'd like to put it on my ego. I'd like to be able to say that I just wasn't prepared or all these other things, and it's all just a bunch of fucking hiding behind that I couldn't handle the intimacy. Things got so real and so serious. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, where it's like, you know, the guy was talking about, sure, you might have the issue of talking to a woman, right? But you're also going to have the issue of, what if she talks to you back? What if she actually likes you? We've already told ourselves so many negative things if things happen that we're like, we talked ourselves out of it. We literally say to ourselves, that ain't gonna work, and this is why. This is what my experience has taught me. This is all a lie. And as I dove deeper into this is fucking hard, but one of the crutches is that I was abused and then I became abusive. I'm not proud of this, man. I've been abusive in relationships to some of the nicest women in the world, some of the most beautiful women in the world, and I couldn't treat them with love and respect. I had trouble complimenting them. I just remember objectifying them. I only needed them for the things that I needed. I only need you for a baby. I don't need an actual relationship. I don't need to change anything. If you don't get along with me, then c'est la vie, such as life, here's the door. This wall that I put up, and my brothers put up too, now that I've, you know, as we're adults and we're going to relationships, none of us have got married. He's the taller, better looking version of me, and even him, rich too, and even him still can't handle the intimacy. These are things that money won't buy. Money can't buy respect. Money can't buy understanding. And it sure as hell can't buy love. And I'm almost anti-love. You know, it was so tough for me to love. I'm sitting there with my spiritual mentor who wears love every day. He's a love. Damn it. The fuck, dude. Somebody just fucking sent me a spam message and it dropped my fucking phone. Asshole, dude. This thing's barely on here. And they're fucking buzzing me and shit. Now my screen's cracked. This is that kind of energy, man. This is that kind of fucking energy. Let me put more on this thing so it doesn't go really, really anywhere. No, it doesn't want to. I wanted to put it on here last time, and I wanted to take a seat and talk to peeps. So yeah, I won't do it. That's the only. This screws up here. This screws on here. Okay, we'll do it right here then. Perfect. We'll do it right here. I would lose my frustration, similar to just happened right now. If I got frustrated, much like my father and my mother, anything was possible. Where I came from, people got hit. That's part of the discipline. I don't like the way that you're doing something, so I gotta snap you into reality. I gotta snap at you. I gotta yell at you. I gotta be physical with you. I gotta intimidate you. And that's what's on this wheel. There's some certain things that we gotta go into, but it's all part of the wheel. And that's what's scary about this thing, is I've seen all of these things with my own eyes my whole childhood. I'm not proud of it. I'm actually ashamed of it. It's scary to be in these kind of situations. In the sun, I want it to be here so I can stay in the shade, but I don't want my phone to fall either from fucking spam. Ugh. And now I'm throwing down my other phone. Okay, see, look, I've already cut myself. Do you see that? You see how this gets so frustrating and emotional? Now I'm bleeding. Okay, that quick. Fuck. Yep, bleeding already. And here's the other phone. And here's me not being able to handle myself emotionally. This is me imploding because this is hard subject. It's hard to admit something you would never admit to somebody at a bar. When we look at people, we don't see it. We see tits and ass, we see smiles, we see skin, we see the meat. And unfortunately, there's more than just meat in people, right? There's more than just that. There's emotions and feelings and experiences that we have no clue what's going on, right? We haven't ever seen the person behind the times. You might see a beautiful woman, but you're not seeing a woman that had a dad that would cheat on her mom, or a guy that had a dad that would beat his mom. You don't see the childhood experiences. You don't see the development stage. You see the after effects. That's what we do. We look at things after the fact, right? Like that's the finished product. We don't want to know about how the tires were made. We just want the tires on the car. And unfortunately, my tires were made in China. They're cheap tires, man. My emotional stability came from a broken family. I had learned that even under love, it's not enough. I had learned that people can reach out and hit you and teach you certain things. Now, I'm gonna shut up a little bit because I'm just really nervous about this. And like I said, I just emailed my ex. I haven't talked to her in months, man. And part of that's just me trying to give her space and not be that guy. But I also emailed her this morning and said, you need to watch today because this has directly attributed to you. I've reached out to a bunch of my exes actually and started to apologize. Apologies won't ever make up for my bad behavior. And I won't expect any, sympathy, because I've been just so mean to people. People aren't gonna have a lot of sympathy for me. And honestly, I don't expect them to. I just wanted to treat people better. Does that make sense? I just wanted to be better than the scratches and the little things that annoy me, and have some sort of inner strength, man. I'm just so much more eloquent than this, dude. And right now I'm just like really annoyed, you know, like my phone won't fucking stay on. Fucking strangers are following me, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people follow me, got people calling me during the show. I'm just irritated, and that comes out everything. This fucking loud ass truck I've heard for the last half hour coming up the street. It's things like this that get at me. And if someone doesn't want to fucking get along with me, then that's gonna get at me. And there's my neighbor right now. I'm sick of fucking people following me. I can't get no free space, bro. And in my anger, and in my hostility, and in my frustrations, guess what happens? I lose my cool. I lose me, and I start acting aggressively. I've lost myself so many times from miscommunication. I've lost myself so many times from anger issues, and thinking that because I can get angry, I can treat anybody any way I want to. I couldn't believe some of the stories I was listening to. The guy was literally explaining that he was dragging his girlfriend around by her hair around the apartment and telling her this wouldn't have happened if you didn't go out and wear what you're wearing. Now, I'm not one of those kind of guys. I've never been ever concerned about what a woman's worn. I've never told her, go back, wear something different. I've never asked for passwords. I've never needed to check on them like that. But when it came to discipline, in my way or the highway, I most definitely acted that way. I'm most definitely trying to get away from the cars. I'm trying to get away from my nosy ass neighbor. I'm trying to get away from the sun. I'm trying to get away from myself. I haven't really loved myself. I watched it this morning and the girl, yeah, this is just way too loud. I'm sick of this kid too. This girl saying how all the years she spent being a people pleaser and hiding behind her mask. Yeah, this stuff's just way too loud. I'm gonna keep going so I can get to a place where I can sit and talk and be in the shade and not be around the traffic. I want people to hear this message because today I'm being honest about male toxicity. The confusion is power and control works in business. It works in money and it works between men. You know, when we're speaking that kind of language, men know that they can be touched. You don't want to say something too mouthy, especially to a bigger dude, because you know that he can put hands on you. Now, it's not commonplace for us to put hands on women, but women are starting to be commonplace aggressive too. Women can be aggressive too. Robert Greene will tell you, learn at the 48 laws of power. And I'm not just talking passive aggressive. Truly aggressive. My ex threatened her ex-husband, that she was going to kill him and lost custody of her children. Now, of course, that didn't help much when I was there because now I'm another demanding figure in her life. I'm another person that needs to be in control, right? And that's what ended up starting to happen. Back to where I started. I just didn't want to be near people. I got my fucking neighbors following me and shit. They didn't get no show. I'm trying to get this show on the road. I'm gonna do this from over here because I don't want to be in the sun either. Okay? I don't want to be in the sun. And like half the sun's right here, so I'll just stand right here. That smell in the morning, that I'm alive and the world is alive. It's a certain smell only in the morning, and it only happens in the morning. I don't like if I stand here, I'm here. I'm just not comfortable right now. I gotta find my comfort mark. Get away from people and get comfortable. How do I get away from people and get comfortable? Let's keep going. Let's go a little bit further. I'm gonna find my comfort this morning. I'm gonna get away from to the point, I promise. This is a very difficult subject to talk about. Man, it is so much shame and hurt. The reason why I'm not in a relationship or haven't had a successful relationship, my ex called me a 42-year-old bachelor. I didn't think that was an issue. Another scam call. This is why I'm glad I didn't leave my phone up there. It would have fucked up my shit. Plastic pocket challenge. Plastic pocket challenge. Put this in my pocket so I can keep talking. Man, dude, I don't even know right now. I got another fucking loud ass dog too. I'm gonna just keep going until I find a quiet space away from fucking animals. Bad dog! You know? Away from yelling and screaming and intrusions and cuttings and loud. I wanna be here in this nice little park that's off to the side with all the plastic in the trees. I'm gonna look for a shade spot so I can finish these. That's paper. Holy shit. Oh yeah. I can't be the only one to pick up trash around here, bro. Apparently I am. Wow. All this trash, bro. Wow, this is scary. People don't pick up after themselves at all. Oh, my fucking pants are falling off. There's a bench here, but there's no shade. There's no trash can either. And my pants are falling off. Okay, I'm having a tough time with this show this morning. It's not as smooth as I was hoping it would be. I'm not as smooth as I was hoping I would be. Where's the trash can over here? Come on, plastic. Do what you're told. I'm putting you down. Hold that. Where my fucking pants are falling off. The mushrooms are falling out of my pocket. I'm having a tough time this morning. Whew. Let's go. All this nasty ass traffic making me dirty. And even now as I pull up, look, no private time. None. Like, I'm the only one here, and this dude's pulling up right now. Like, it's just never enough. Never enough freedom. Never enough space. I don't even know what the fuck this fool's doing somebody's pool. And there's never enough trash cans. So, fuck. No trash can here. I'm gonna go back to my original spot. I'm just not comfortable. I'm just not comfortable. 21 minutes of just not being comfortable and people following me and me not being free and me trying to have a conversation without dropping my phones twice or cutting my finger or strangers coming near me. Just, if you've ever had tough time seeing another dog, if you have ever had a tough time getting comfortable, welcome to the club. I've realized that I need calm CBDs more than anything, more than creating it, you know? Man, that fucking dog, I could kick it. Have you ever just been so annoyed now everything is in threat? I hear it all the time. I mean, no joke, people just getting crazy, right? You know, I've heard crazy things, women killing their own children, men killing their own children, super fucked up, super frustrated, really negative shit. And the reason I'm doing this show today is to fucking get after it. You know, I needed to get after this thing that's happening to the world. You know, I'm so sick of the abuse. They're sick of the abuse. I'm sick of the cyclical toxicity. You know, a lot of women, they're no help either. They're berating men, they're getting aggressive, and they're calling us names and getting the worst out of us, acting like men. Knowing damn well when you act like that, in the end, they're gonna act even more violent back at you because it's about dominance. It's literally about showing somebody that I am more dominant than you. Boom, baby, boom. Thank you for watching, bro. We're going to talk about male toxicity this morning. It's a tough subject and it needs to be talked about. Just really uncomfortable this morning. I'm not my normal smooth self. I'm going into a realm that I don't normally go into, right? And that's why we're going to have to do this show. I'm just going to fucking sit in this dirty ass shit. I don't want to sit here either. And like is my neighbor following me or something? I can't even get a free time away from people. They just seem to always be near me. And then I know myself, this is that time where it comes up into me and I start getting anxiety. And much like what you were saying, Biddy Mac, about having like that road rage, it's like, get the fuck away from me, man. And I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one that's going to say some shit because it fucking annoys me. Now, this individual has the whole park to walk around. They don't need to be near me, but now they're sashaying closer to me, and it just annoys me. You know, I'm easily annoyed. And that goes back to my childhood. It goes right back to not being in control of things. You know, when they talk about alcoholism, they talk openly about these people that come into our world and we have to adjust to them. You become a genius at your parents. You become the person that learns every move of your dad, every emotion, so you don't cross this motherfucker. And if you cross them, they're gonna let you know where the line is. And it's so weird with listening to these people talking about this line that no one else can see, and they cross this line all the time. They're literally crossing the line with people just to keep the discipline and show the dominance in the situation. That's what ends up happening. That's what ends up going on between all of us, is we end up being I gotta walk away from this motherfucker before I lose my fucking cool. See, and now I'm in control of me, right? I'm not under someone else's control. I'm not letting something else control me, and then I become a warrior and not let the worry or the words affect me anymore. I'm learning. But the real thing that I learned, the thing that shocked me the most, was just how much the abuse has affected me. You know, I'm Francis Mark St. Arnaud the 6th. That's my full name. I'm actually the 6th. And in my world, my father, the 5th, was abused by his father, the 4th. And in there, my great-grandfather has some sexual perversion. It's very embarrassing to say, but I'm going to tell the truth. He molested my dad's sisters. And my dad, you know, when he grew up, not only did he go beat this dude's ass after finding out, but now, I mean, I don't even know the dude. Like, I don't even know the dude. But what I do know is he was a German disciplinarian and basically treated the kids like they were Doberman pinschers, like they were dogs that were taught to sit and fold them. That's what my dad used to told us. Snap his finger, sit and fold them. And I mean, we were like obedient dogs. You know, he had this control over our family, much like I was talking about earlier about Christian dads, where they look so shiny. Look at this little family. They all match, right? They're all smiling. And everything's supposed to be happy on the outside. But lo and behold, my dad's choking out my mom. I saw that in front of me. He punched and broke her nose in front of us. And I am so grateful that I have not done that with anything. I'm so grateful that I've ended the perverse thing. Your boy's a pervert. I'm very sexual, but not perverse, you know? And I'm definitely abusive, but not as physically anymore. So I'm grateful for that, right? Like, I have some reprieve. I've learned some things, and at least I thought that if I could just not hit people, I would be better than my father. And I'm sure my father was like, as long as I don't sleep with my children, I will be better than him. That's very embarrassing to say, but it needs to be said because this is where these things breed. They usually breed in a Christian family. They usually breed in Catholic beliefs. It's too much shame to say that the priest has been diddling you. You know, you don't want to be a victim, but this is for all the victims and the perpetrators, because that's exactly what pisses me off right now. In my life, I'm both. You know, I'm both the victim. That's too loud for me. That's annoying as fuck. I'm both the victim and the perpetrator. Can you imagine being somebody afraid of your own father, afraid of what he's going to do to your mother, and now I got women afraid of me? I'm not safe to be around. When I get staticky, neither was my father. You know, you don't know if that dude's on a bender. You don't know if he's on anger. You know, it's a real thing. And yeah, bro, this is Saints Addiction. This is duality defined. For us to all pretend when we show up with our avatars that we had no childhood and that we had no experiences is all a lie. You know, you got a lot of people that are living life as a lie. And I'm here to tell the truth. That was my whole point. He asked me for my message. My spiritual mentor said, "What's your devotion, Saint?" And he's wearing a love shirt, and I got my Saints Addiction shirt on. And at the time, I had the LVOG on. And I'm like, I guess this is my devotion. This is my devotion. This is my life story. You know, I'm devoted to this message because I felt the only one. I'm over here trying hard at things. I'm over here living my fucking life, making it move for me. And I was impressed. You know, for the most part, that same anger and energy is the same shit that got me to do what I needed to do. And that's the same energy that I need to have. You know, it's that energy inside of us. That's what I'm noticing. I'm noticing my energy. and how it transpired and how I learned it got inspired from this person that I don't even talk to anymore. I don't even talk to my father. I mean, I really sat there and talked to my mom. This motherfucker just won't go away with this dog. I'm trying to walk straight. I don't want to talk to any humans or be near any human. And he's there every morning doing the same fucking thing. Bro, get away from me. Seek their get, Lon. Seek their get. Get the fuck away from me, bro. I gotta turn around. Gotta turn around. Gotta find it in myself, man. Self-control is such a motherfucker, man. People, they can be triggers, dude. They don't know they're even being triggers. You all of us have some sort of trigger mechanisms where we're like, this is not the way I want to feel anymore. Shit's pissing me off. Get the fuck away from me. And if I'm the only one that can admit that, then I'm the only one getting healed, right? Healed people like to heal people. Hurt people, like I was telling my spiritual mentor, real easy for you to say, love this, love that, when you got love on your shirt. But when you've been hurt and abused, like me and like other people, now all of a sudden I'm hurting and abusing others. The fucking real is real. Okay, that dude finally pulled away. Get the fuck away from me, dude. You know, and same with this loud ass trucks. This is the reason why I wanted to be in the shade and away from people. You know what? I found a spot under the flagpole. Let me get away from that noise and that dude and all the bullshit. Hold up. Moving as fast as I can. So you don't have to hear loud ass shit like that. You know, like just, it's irritating me. I should be out in the woods with this show this morning, but I'm not. I'm in the park and it needs to be said. I want to sit at the bench, but I don't want to be near that fucking noise. So I'm gonna come over here in a nice quiet shade spot and finish this conversation with you guys. Okay, my shorts are falling off. I'm completely discombobulated. Yes. Oh, so discombobulated right now, dude. This is one of the toughest shows I've ever had to do. My pants are falling off. It's hot outside. Got snot all over my fucking face. I'm crying. My shirt won't participate. Like I'm just uncomfortable. Finally. Of course. Right out of my pocket and onto the ground. Anything else like to fall out? Oh, yeah, my mushrooms too. Cool. So let's do this. Let's get shit out off the ground again. Mushrooms, crackers. Oh, man, this is fucking horrible. See, I'm gonna go sit my ass down. I can't be near people's homes. I can't be near all this bullshit. Thank you for taking the time with me, man. It's gonna take some time to go over this because, like I said, I can't even keep things in my pocket. My fucking pants keep falling down. I've lost so much weight going to the gym, and I'm not exactly watching what I eat, but it's a part of it. So it's like everyone else, you know, we cover up what's inside. I've been going to the gym for years. It just amplified my anger. It just amplified my strength. I mean, this is how we operate as men. You know, as long as you can dominate somebody else, you have power. You have control. As long as you have the money, you can control someone. It's another one of the control wheels. I'm gonna just go into this real quick because, like I said, that dog started barking too. I'm glad I moved away. But that's what we are. Why did I just step in? Okay. Cool. That's where we are and who we are. And it's unfortunate, but this is what's going on. So let me get the show here. Let me set you up so you can see. All right, I'm gonna stand in the shade so I live and breathe. I don't want to kind of put this on this bench because it's white, but I guess I have to because I got everything falling out of my pockets all at once. My pants completely falling off. More plastic pocket challenge. Let's try. More people following me. I can't even get some alone time. I'm thought I'm all alone out here and there's somebody else near me. It's a tough show to do this morning. Falling on the ground twice. me cutting my finger, me trying to get in some personal time, me out here sweating. It's not easy for me. Not comfortable. Just not comfortable. And I think that's what's happening with all of us in our whole lives. You know, we can't get comfortable. And we look for comfort everywhere in our houses. We call it comforting. Loud ass truck, bro. I just can't get comfortable right now. I'm gonna have to figure it out. I need a shade spot without the traffic. I need the shade spot without the traffic. Some other people over there. How do I find a shade spot without all the bullshit? That's gonna be damn near impossible. You know? That's almost gonna be damn near impossible, especially without dogs barking. Okay, well anyway. It's kind of quiet right now, so let's have this conversation. Another person yelling, walking. Fuck. Look at my fucking screen. It's all covered in white for some reason. Like, what the fuck did you fall on? The ground. Dude, shut up. Who are you screaming at? You're not even near anybody. He's just screaming on his phone. I'm annoyed. You know, I do this show every day. I'm usually pretty smooth, but I'm just annoyed. You know, like everything's just fucking annoying me, and it's like fucking, fuck. It's like fucking fuck. And that energy just makes me want to fucking smash. And I'm lost, and I'm out of control, and I've lost control, and that's what I started to learn. Even right now, someone's trying to call me right now. It's just annoying as fuck. I can't get no free time, and then I start talking to people. I'm like, yo, this is my free time. And the other guy, there's an anthem on my phone. And the other guy was like, yo, let me make an order at 7:30 at night on a Friday night, knowing damn well maybe he didn't know, but the place ain't open till Monday to order his stuff. But by the time I called him on Monday, he already found someone else because of my attitude. My attitude, which I have control over, but I show little to no control over. Now I exercise the control wheel. It's 11:11 right now. It's a blessing. Life is the blessing. So let's get after it, shall we? And have this conversation with you. When they first did this, get this red ant off my hand from the phone. When they first did this in Duluth, Minnesota, you know, I don't think a lot of people I'm gonna have to keep walking. This shit's just driving me nuts. I really can't. I'm gonna go get my own mental health. This is how much you have to fight for your mental health. You're gonna have to walk away from people. You're gonna have to walk away from situations, no matter how much it costs you. You're gonna have to keep walking till you find it, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep walking until I find my peace. I am now fully in control of me. I can't control the traffic. And if I'm having tough time controlling my mood, I need to control my attitude. And that's what's going to be the biggest thing. I wrote it yesterday, say if you can't control your feelings, you won't be able to control your situation. And that is so true for all of us. How many of us have lost our control and gave it away and end up weakening ourselves at the end of the day? I'll wait. Maybe I'm the only honest one about it, but it's true. This is weakening us. It's weakening you and me. And it's not a fun kind of thing. This is not a fun conversation. Usually it's supposed to be the morning motivation. But right now I'm talking about some serious abuse, some serious mishandlings of situations. I got this all in my hand right now. I'm trying to get away from loud ass trucks and just get one block over so we can be free. I'm about to hop in my car. Maybe that's what I need to do. I need to hop in my car and get away from everyone. That's what I'll do. I'll do whatever it takes to just get to a free spot where I don't have to hear everything. So here it goes, right? Another political interruption. Yeah, if you've ever been real, if you've ever been super real to yourself and asked yourself, why am I the way that I am? And yesterday, because of the mushrooms, I literally believe that it allowed me to open myself up and see myself in real reality. I got to see for the first time my poor mom abused by my father. I just had a lot of angst and blame for my mom because she's psychotic, and it's easy to blame her mental disease and mental inabilities and not realizing that the whole time she was trying to keep a family together with an abusive husband. And he was beating my mom too. So it's one of those things where, you know, women tell men all the time in these relationships, stop abusing my child, or stop, you're doing too much, or stop hitting him, stop yelling at him. And they do it worse because they don't hold her as a real person. I just found that out. Some dudes even refuse to come to the class because it shows too much respect. These people are so abusive that they don't even get to see who they really are. And this is the shocker of the thing. I finally figured out why slavery exists. It still exists today because we will see people not as who they are, not as a human with a name, but as an object that we can control. That's right. There's guys that won't even show up to the abuse classes because they don't even want to call their lover, female woman in their life, more than her God-given name. They are so used to calling her bitch, slut, cunt that they don't even call her, like refuse to go to the class because that would make him respect her. And have respect for a Negro. How dare you? Right? Like, how dare we actually treat someone like a human being, like an equal? No, most of these scenarios, and especially in the Christian faith and all the other Catholic religions, they want other people to believe that. Yeah, I'm glad I'm getting in this truck. My fucking pants falling off. My shit's going all over the place. I need to get it out of my hand and get in this truck, away from like dudes with small dicks and loud trucks. I gotta get away from negativity and bullshit. Gotta get away from my neighbors. Gotta get away from bullshit. Get in here. Get in here. Yes, you too, phone. Threw you in here too. Pants fell off. Fuck. Hold on. I'm almost done. I'm gonna start the car. Pull out my pants. Get all my shit ready. Because I'm gonna go down this street and have this conversation with y'all. Finish this conversation. So help me God. I'm gonna finish this conversation. So help me God. So anyway, here we go. What do you say? We need to embrace the discomfort and be triggered or controlled. Oh, dude, that's exactly what Mel Robbins was talking about. She's such a smart lady, but she's talking about it all the time. She's going like, you know, that 5 seconds of uncomfortableness that wells up in our fucking bodies, inside of our chest, and keeps us from doing the things that we need to do and want to do because we get scared. We're not paying attention. Even my fucking, I don't even want to have, oh, there's some construction workers. Let me get out of here. I'm driving crazy because I'm just annoyed. I want to be away from everyone. Come on, shut up. Of course you did. You just got right tangled up on everything. Yes, dumb bitch. Yes, dumb bitch. Ugh, so annoyed right now, bro. So fucking annoyed. Everything's annoying. Can't find some sunshine. Can't find some peace. Can't find anything. And if you're anything like me, then you know what I'm going through. Then you know how hard it is to feel comfortable around other people, to feel comfortable in your own skin. And now you're talking about Saints addiction because that's exactly what we do. We are so fucking annoyed, right, that we need something to make us feel comfortable. See, they're cutting shit out there. I'm like, I came over here to be past the shade, and motherfuckers all up in my face. So, come on, car, move. I'm flooring it, and it's still not going fast enough. I just want to be away from everything. And if you don't have like that 5 seconds of control, usually what you'll do is go grab a beer, immediate control. That's what I was seeking. I wasn't just trying to abuse her. I was trying to have immediate control. And anybody else that knows what's up with it knows what time it is, right? So I'm just gonna stay here. Cool, I'm under the park. Spark, turn off, shut up, everything. Fuck, that car's so loud now that they stole my catalytic converter. It's fucked up. So yeah, that's the trigger. Even my buddy, it's been 45 minutes. He can't even catch up with me. No one can catch up with me. I couldn't even catch up or control myself. And that bugged me. You know, it bugged me that I could get so easily bugged. And like I was telling my mentor, I was like, yeah, but they criticize me. I don't want people criticizing me. As soon as I park, bro, guess who's going by? Traffic. It's like, this is a nowhere spot. I just want some privacy and alone time. If anybody's ever gone through some mental health issues, I think you know what I'm talking about. This isn't even shady enough for me. I'm gonna keep it pushing because I'm just not comfortable. I haven't got comfortable this whole morning. Everything's just really annoying me, and this is a really tough subject to talk about. Come on, let's go. gas. I'm flooring it and it won't go. You need to be on a radio studio, Mr. Saint. I mean, yeah. I mean, if I could, I would, bro. Been working on it. Been working on it, dude. Just working on me and working on survivability and getting away from people and bullshit and all sorts of. That's all I want is shade and quiet and peace and away from not noise and people. And all this thing keeps doing is just beeping at me and driving me more and more and more insane. It's like, shut up. Leave me alone. Get the fuck away from me. Has anybody else ever talked that way? Has anybody else ever felt that way? Then you know what I'm talking about today. Oh, man, this is the worst show I've ever done. Dudes want me to be in a studio. I can't even be heard clearly. And got to start work. Good luck, Mr. Saint. Yeah, bro. I don't blame you, bro. I've gone too long I've just kept talking and nothing's linear and I need to just be in the shade. So that's what I'm trying to do, is just get to a shady spot, quiet spot, so I can finish this conversation. So, like I said, normally I'm way better at this. Of course, as soon as I pull up, somebody's trying to pull up. It's like, can anybody just like disappear for a little bit? This is why people go hiking, man. So you won't have to be near motherfuckers at all. Okay, so park. Shut up. There we go. I'm horrible at this. I'm legitly horrible at this. I don't get these messages. I don't even see these messages on watch you open the show, buddy. Good, man. You know your demons and past. There is power in that. Mark Saint confronting his ego and soul head on a daily basis to improve his self-awareness and improve his world. Yeah. Learning how to become a better version of themselves every day. I wonder if I rotate it, will I get this whole... No, I won't. I'm trying to screenshot this duality to find. How come I can't get these messages? I need to be on a radio, brace your triggers, and control discomfort. Better versions of ourselves, confronting his ego. Yeah, it's not letting me screenshot it. So I guess I'm just gonna have to screenshot it this way. I don't know. Trying to get this motivation going. And I'm just emotional. You can see it in me. I'm melting. You know, if anybody else can do it better than me, good luck to you. You know, yeah, this whole system just doesn't let me do any of these. Did I just hear another human? Yep, there's somebody over there with his garage door open. Let's get into it. Now I can hear the airplane. Like, I can't be free today. It won't like allow me to. And now you understand the difficulties with these situations, you know. People over there in the corner of their garage, planes flying by, even cars flying by. Like, I literally go for hikes to get away from all signs of life in anybody, anyone, and it's just more to get with my own comfortability level, you know, to find it in myself. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find this in myself to get this out because it's that important. When I first discovered this Duluth method, the this violence wheel, it shocked me because I have using coercion and threats to people, including killing myself, right? Making or carrying out threats to do something to hurt her, threatening to leave her, to report her to welfare, making her drop charges, making her do illegal things. Now, I've never made anybody do illegal things or drop charges or anything or threaten people with welfare, but I've always been suicidal because I felt it inside of me, right? I felt it just inside of me. Like, I just felt that I was doing life wrong and I should reset. And that something that's just wrong that's happened to me, and I've done wrong to other people that I didn't deserve to live. I'm using intimidation, making her afraid by looks, actions, gestures. Now, I haven't made anybody flinch, but my siblings used to flinch around me. and smashing things. I'm not a big smasher things, but like I got frustrated earlier, it made me want to throw my phone. Destroying her property, abusing pets, displaying weapons. Yeah, I don't have any weapons, and I don't have any pets, so um, it's just hard when you're intimidating people. And I'm about to play the video after this. It's very important. Using emotional abuse, putting her down. I've done that. Get your fat ass out of the car. It's my dad. Making her feel bad about herself. Not building them up, but tearing them down, constantly being critical of them and never giving them a break. Calling her names, every name but besides her real name. Making her think she's crazy, which is, they are kind of crazy. We're both psychotic. So it's just like, it's not easy to just put it on one person or another. Everybody's crazy. Playing mind games. You don't even know that you're playing mind games. I didn't even know I was playing mind games. I was just like, stay away from me. And I remember one time we were about to go for a hike, and she's like, "You're not spontaneous enough." And I'm like, "Bitch, I've been to Machu Picchu in a week, you know?" And I'm like, "Stop talking shit to me." And I got annoyed like I just did earlier. And now I'm in her car, so I had to jump out of the car to get free. She's like, "Who is this dude? He's supposed to meet my mom today, and now I'm out on the street and we're playing stubborn games." And she tried to out stubborn me, and I'm telling her, "Don't talk shit to me." So my way of not hitting her and go, "Bitch, don't talk shit to me," or stand over somebody and intimidate them, my thing was to just walk away and say, "I have my own car, I have my own control. I don't need you to talk shit to me." It didn't go over well. Playing my games, humiliating her. It humiliated her that she couldn't introduce me to her mom and then had to make an excuse. We were supposed to have lunch that time. I ended up driving all the way back from San Francisco. Thank God this guy shut in his garage and not looking and staring at me and listening to my conversation. Making her feel guilty. Yeah, we're all guilty, dude. So even making someone feel guilty, we're all guilty. No one's here is without blood on their hands. And unfortunately, she said the worst thing she ever did was love me. Using isolation. One thing I learned this morning from Matthew Perry, and he said it himself very clearly, was that these are the ways that the addiction works. It works when you're lonely, when you're all by yourself. He said, I had dark rooms where there were nothing but drug dealers around me taking my money, and I was okay with it because I was supposed to be happy. And that's all we're really seeking, is something to make us really, truthfully, and honestly happy. How are you connected to this right now? Having a tough time, just dirt all over my hands. It takes a lot for me to get comfortable. It has a lot to do with, obsessive compulsive disorders, where you're just like, you want everything to be perfect, the perfect shirt, the perfect color, the perfect cleanliness, and you can feel normal. And even then, not even super normal, because I would have to smoke some weed to make myself feel normal. This is where the addiction starts. You want to feel okay. You want to feel all right. And the only thing that makes you feel all right are these things that don't last. It's not easy, but that's why we use isolation. That's the devil's playground. That's when the fucking addiction keeps going, because the cure is people. When you're around people, especially when they're loving you, you can cure anything, everything at any moment. Using isolation. What was that noise? Using isolation, controlling what she does, who she sees and talks to. I've never done that. What she reads, where she goes, I'm not interested in any of that. Limiting her outside involvement, not interested. Using jealousy to justify actions. Oh, it's a dog or something. I don't know. I'm trying to just get quiet as another plane flies over me. Minimizing, denying, and blaming. I went through the 4Ds before: the deny, deflect. I went through all of those in a different show, but making light of the abuse and not taking her concerns about it seriously. Say the abuse didn't happen, shifting responsibility from abusive behavior, saying she caused it. Like I said, I'm only in control of my own reactions. Not hers. I do not take abuse lightly. I've perpetrated it because I was in a uh, um, intimate relationship. Then for men, we consider it dominance when we're near women, and most of us do it when they get pregnant, like you're mine, or when we get married, you're mine, and that dominance, that control factor, that idea of ownership really starts to fuck with people, because then if you even with your children, which the next one is using children, you're like, they're mine, I can do whatever I want with them, and we feel justified in our actions because they're our property, and that's how slavery continues. Using children, making her feel guilty about the children, using the children to relay messages, using visitation to harass her, threatening to take her children away. That's what her ex did to her. Using male privilege, treating her like a servant, making all the big decisions, acting like the master of the castle, defines being the one to define men's and women's roles. Using economic abuse, preventing her from getting or keeping a job, making her ask for money, giving her an allowance. I've never done any of that. Taking her money, not letting her know about access to family. I don't even know any. Using coercion and threats, making her carrying out threats to do something to hurt her, threatening to leave her, to commit suicide. Okay, we already went through this. Okay, cool. So, to have been a part of any of these things is scary to me. You know, to be one of these people that have experienced some of this stuff, and it's not nice to have experienced it, and then to have other people had to experience it through me. I wish I could do it all over again. I had to sit my mom down, and I asked her to sit. I'm like, you can sit next to me, you know, and she did. And when she sat next to me, we had to have this conversation. I said, I just want to. My mom went on. She annoyed me. I said, just stop. First of all, you're annoying as fuck. You're just going on a tangent. Nothing you're saying is making sense. I didn't ask you for, you need a pitch deck. If you want to pitch people, go on Shark Tank. Don't do it to your son. You're going on and on and on. Oh, I'll stop. I'll stop. And then it's like you could see whatever was going on. The moment that she could stop, which was annoying as fuck, I stopped myself from being annoying and chastising, which is really another abusive control tactic that I've learned from my father. And it sucks that I haven't treated my mother with more love and respect. And I said, I just want you to sit here, and I wanted to show you some love and show you some respect and show you how grateful I am for you to let me sleep on this couch for a year. And every time you've ever helped me and put up with my abusive ways and not and stuck by my side. And she said, you don't know how much that means to me, Mark. That's what people want to hear, that they were loved and appreciated and understood. I haven't been that awesome at it, but anyway, we got 3 minutes, 47 seconds. I want you guys to hear this.
Intimidation is another tactic on the power and control wheel. And this particular tactic walks with him wherever he is in the home with the family. It's generated by the violence that he's used in the past, how he's instilled fear in the family due to other behaviors. It could be kicking the dog. It could be actual slapping his wife or his children.
Bopping people.
But the intimidation piece of it is really linked to his ability to overcome anybody else's resistance in the home for what he wants to have happen.
Yep.
And sometimes it even plays out in ways where he doesn't intend it. So, for example, he's in the kitchen and he's just reaching into a cabinet to get a plate. And he reaches up and opens that cabinet, and she's standing near. She may flinch because she doesn't know if that gesture means that she's going to get hit or if he's actually just going into the cabinet.
That's embarrassing.
That's how that intimidation works.
My dad used to do this.
Lift his hands. It can be something as subtle as a stare across the room, or it can be something where he's actually in her face, screaming, threatening, using threatening gestures that he's going to be violent to get her to submit.
Fuck around, find out. I'm going to smack the shit out of you.
Without intimidation, it's very difficult for him to achieve some of the things that he wants in the house. Like, say, if he wants a clean house, he's not going to beat somebody typically every time he wants a clean house. What he's going to use is intimidation. That's where he's going to begin. So he's going to
tell my brother Jeremy, I'm going to sock you.
Tell her what she's doing wrong.
I'm going to punk you. I'm going to punch you in your leg, dead leg.
She understands there's no way to overcome what force he may use to get her to submit. So then at that point, as a woman, she's standing there thinking, all right, do I want to do it this time and just avoid the consequence? Do I want to
no free will
leave because this kind of thing is never going to end? Or is today a day where I'm going to draw a line and I'm going to push back? And these are the only options you really have working with
God forbid
somebody
you push
who
back.
believes they get to dominate you. And this domination not only includes what he wants his partner to do, but also what he wants his kids to do. So he becomes the main disciplinarian for the children. And how how he does that is way more severe than typically what kind of discipline the mother dishes out. And so when she comes into a room by herself and the kids are doing something they're not supposed to, the struggle she has is that she tells them to stop and they just ignore her because she really isn't the reference point for consequence in the home. He's now established himself as one. And the real crazy making frustration that women talk about is that they do everything they can to parent their children, guide them in a direction, get ignored, and then he sees this and blames her for being a bad parent because when he does it, they listen. When she doesn't, they don't. And what he's blind to is that he's taken literally her ability to parent from her by making him such a threat in the house and using intimidation to get his way, both with her and with the children.
This guy's amazing. It says your path. If you guys ever get a chance, this thing's not flipping like I need it to. Hold up. I'm trying to show something. There it is. Now it's flipping. And it's called the Duluth Model. If you ever get, I'm already subscribed. The Duluth Model. There's plenty of different videos here, as I can show you. I went through a lot of these videos yesterday. I mean, this guy made so much sense to me. And I couldn't help but just keep playing video after video, minimizing, blaming, male privilege, understanding power and control.
On the power and control wheel, one of the tactics is male privilege.
Yeah.
And if there's anything that drives all of this abusive behavior that we've been talking about, this is it. It's the notion that as a man in relationship with a woman, I believe that I get to dominate you, control you, use physical violence if necessary to get you to submit to me. Because literally the privilege goes right to the core of that man's identity.
Yeah.
And he will fight for that, to hold on.
Yeah,
to
I'm
that.
the man. I gotta say, I
As
gotta
if he's
discipline my
literally
kids. You
fighting
don't
to
gonna
hold
tell
on
me
to
how to
himself.
discipline my kids. These are my kids.
So, for example, in
Yep.
class when I work with men who've
Yeah.
committed these acts of violence against their partners, and
Yeah.
I've role played, say, how to negotiate fairly, right? So we're not being abusive, we're acting on a partnership, and they'll see me negotiate some outcome with my co-facilitator, who's a woman. And I'll ask the guys, so what'd you think? And I often get responses like, well, you don't have a spine. Like, why didn't you just tell her what to do? They literally can't imagine themselves sitting down with a woman and on an equal basis and negotiating something out because they don't believe that she's actually equal to him.
Some
Now,
privilege.
if I ask them, do you make mistakes? They'll say, yeah, I make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
I said, what about owning those mistakes to her? And I'll get this, like one guy said, look, I make mistakes.
Right.
I might be wrong sometimes, but I'm never going to be wrong to her.
Right.
Okay. So the whole idea behind that is that I'm smarter than she is. I'm better than she is. And if in any way she comes equal to me, then I as a man get diminished because his identity is so grounded in this notion of superiority over women that he literally can't even imagine looking at her eye to eye,
Right.
calling her by her given name.
Yeah.
So if we're looking for something that's behind why men beat women into submission, it is this notion of privilege, of entitlement, of dominance that they have and that they believe they get to execute with the woman in their lives. They don't believe this about other people in their lives. So, for example, they can go down and sit down with a coworker or their boss and negotiate. So it's not like they don't have the skill to negotiate. They simply just don't believe that I have to negotiate with her because she's mine and I get to tell her what to do. That's the thinking at its fundamental core when we work with men who batter, that we're trying to help them see what it leads to and what they lose and what happens to her when they execute it.
So yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff, right now, I mean, somebody just came out of their house and started speaking on their cell phone right next to my car. I just haven't had a break, but I wanted this to be as clear as possible. That's why I got away from everybody, because it's that important. You know what I mean? It was more important than the conversation she's having. There's my superiority. It was more important than my walk this morning. It was something that has changed my life fundamentally. My stomach's kind of growling at me, so I kind of wanted to have some of this mushrooms this morning. The show's already starting to happen, so I definitely want to fucking get it going and stay away from anything that's annoying me. We've already had this conversation many times. I just don't understand why people aren't talking in their house and standing in the sun to be near me. My energy is so wacky sometimes. I just didn't know how to control me. And when I got really frustrated, the drugs were there. And then once I stopped doing drugs, I tried to keep the gym there. There are so many things that I reach for in my life so I could keep my head steady. So, I mean, traveling helps me to escape, but there's always going to be something where you're like, maybe the day's just not going where you need it to be. Maybe you need food. Maybe you need water. Maybe you need to change your clothes. It's like a baby. You know what I'm saying? When we're in this like this in our lives, we've really lost control of our lives. And like the girl was saying, she was like, I wish my emotional triggers were to go to the gym instead of binge eating. Like, how many of us are eating, or how many of us are emotional eating? I'm an emotional eater. Like, shit's going wrong, I'll just might start grabbing the chocolate. I'll just start grabbing the weed. I'll just start grabbing everything. I mean, literally, someone just parked there right next to me. Like, I'm literally right here, and they're literally right here. They just pulled up next to me. I can't even. There's her talking, and there's a person up. I need to get the fuck out of here again. Let me get my shit out. Move. Just move, Mark. Don't argue. Don't panic. Don't talk shit. Just keep moving. Oh, now dogs are going too. Yeah, that's how people are. I want some freedom, and now I got a dog, lady pulling up, and another lady talking on her cell phone outside of her house. And then this chick taking a U-turn in front of me. Like, I can't even get away from people. Yeah, she's literally just curb checked herself. I'm trying to be free, and this lady's pulling up next to me. Let me get away from people right now. You see them? She don't even know where she's going. She came all the way next to me. This lady's speaking with her kid outside. Like, the audacity. Like, can't even right now. So you can see the energy. I'm sure you too, like any other human being, have been frustrated. You too should know that this ain't easy. A lot of us are getting frustrated out there. I feel you on that. There are going to be days where you just don't wake up and feel like yourself. The workouts help. They really do. The sunshine fresh on your morning ass. There's a lot of people shining their assholes. I'm not talking about putting your butthole in the air and having it shine. That's a whole different situation. That's not what I'm talking about. What I am talking about is being able to chill out. I had no walking away strategy. I had no way of avoiding me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was still under the influence of my emotions, and my emotions were lying to me. That 5 seconds between the gap of me being in action and then following through with like another abusive strategy, whether it be abusing other people, like, I don't feel good, now nobody feels good, and then now no one can feel good, no one can feel normal, no one can have normal around me, because I was still being controlling, with no control over my own. So no wonder why nobody followed me, my siblings included, because who's going to want to follow that, right? Like, who's going to want to follow somebody? Get this thing off me. Who wants to follow somebody that has no self-control anyway? Like, how are you going to follow someone unless they're truly under control? And that's the confidence that women are looking for. They want to know they're going to be polite. Humans are looking for. We want to know if you're going to be polite to the waiter staff. We want to know that you know how to act. And we need to know more than the 2 seconds that we've known you. Get away from me, car. The 2 seconds that we've known you, we haven't got to see your shadow side. We got to see the amazing date, because that's what narcissists are. We're really great at first impressions, horrible at intimacy. So now when it really happens, when she's really pregnant, or she's really pretty, or she's really close to me, I start getting sketchy. I couldn't handle the intimacy. And part of it was this control and power. Instead of having control and power over myself, there's another vehicle. Get the fuck away from me. Seek or get lawn. Just get the fuck away from me. Just car after car. Market's gonna just keep coming. Gotta find a better spot. I'm just not done with this show this morning. I'm just not done with this show. This is a deep thing that I just had to figure out in my life, and it's huge. I haven't even done my mushrooms yet. It's transformative. This is fucking really me out. That life can be just like this, that life can be so weird and scary, and that we have little to no control over ourselves, and we want so much control so someone else doesn't control us. That's why we want money, so we can say what we want to do with our day and do what we want to do instead of doing what we're told to do. It's really weird that there's a lot of women, especially feminist women out there, where they don't want to be dominated by a man, but they can capitulate for a job. They can be compliant to a boss. Like, as soon as there's money involved, it's like, yeah, sure, I'll be on time. You're like, but that was your job in the first place. Like, why couldn't you have been on time just because it's your job? Most people, they have a tough time with that. And that's why I was saying, this is the thing that gets me the most, This is the thing that keeps me, I can't believe that they have security cameras on this thing right here. This neighborhood actually has security cameras. Can you see those in the tree? That's so weird, right? So anyway, let me turn this off. I'm trying to have this conversation with you guys quietly. Get off me seatbelt. Okay. Slam things down. It was the hardest thing in my life. Of course, a van wants to pull up right now. I can't get a private moment of my life depended on seek or get lawn if you don't get the fuck away from me. And this dude's hanging tough at the stop sign playing on his phone. I just can't with people right now. I just need to be alone. And I mean, I know I'm not the only human to say that. Like, I just need to be alone. And how many times have we not had the ability to be alone, or to be ourselves, or to have a moment by ourselves? That's the things that started to get at me. I never let myself develop that way. It was just too intense. And so now I'm making my brother do the dishes, and I'm dead legging him in the leg, and I'm intimidating and I'm forcing him to do things instead of communicating with him, or having him capitulate, or negotiate properly with my own little brother. Now I don't even trust me. Like, I mean, we went to lunch and stuff, but I blew trust. Something you can't buy on the shelf. And respect. They don't respect you anymore. As soon as you don't respect other people, they won't respect you. I have a tough time with compliments. I'm not quite sure why that is. Maybe it's a competitive thing in me, but I'm just going through all the negativity and all the things, my downfall. And there's another motherfucker out by their car. I just can't get a personal time for nothing right now. I'm just around too many people and too many scenarios. Even another car's passing by. So I'm trying to find it within me, guys. I'm trying to find this thing within me where I don't need to be near people, and I don't need to be near the negativity, and I don't need to be flustered, and I don't need to be anxious. And it'd be nice that life didn't have weird. Life includes other people. Life includes other cars. If you're especially living in a neighborhood, you're always going to have a fucking neighbor right next to you, and these are facts of life. So you can get over it, right? Like people like to say, that's a horrible advice. You can find coping mechanisms so that you're used to it, or not. You might not even get used to it, but a coping mechanism to allow you to be used to it, or allow you to still have control over yourself so you're not triggered by it. And that's something that I don't think most of us have. I think we're just triggered by things, and no matter what, it's like it's shot o'clock because something else has happened. Something else has triggered us to be a certain type of way, and that's when we act that way. It's the shame of my life that I've had some beautiful women love me and I couldn't be loving back. I saw my ex somebody got married and said she did the flowers, and I actually reached out to her. Like I said, I apologized to a lot of my exes, and it'll never work because I've my actions will speak louder than my words, and that's just with everyone. But to practice mindfulness, to practice duality and see my negativity in it, this is for all male toxicity. This is for all men that have ever fucking harmed somebody else or did something. You know what time it is. You know what time it is. It's time for you to get control over you, because we ain't got control over anybody else. It's time for us to have some sort of self-control. And that's what I wanted to have. I wanted to have self-control. I wanted to be able to have the ability to control me instead of trying to control other people. I couldn't control my life, and therefore I seeked control, right? Sought it out because it looked like and felt like normal. And as long as everything was in order, everything was in control. And the illusion of having control over people, the illusion that I live in, that I got so much control when I had so little control over myself, was what I really learned in this lesson. That you know um, people are allowing me to be near them. They are blessing me with their time and energy. They don't have to be there, and I don't have to scare them off. But it was a tactic that I used because that means you're too close to me. You know, you're too close to me. I had an amazing message from my best friend, and sure, he unfriended me on Facebook, and I shouldn't have put hands on him. We were just wrestling around, but like you can even see me try to come up with an excuse to me. I didn't beat him. I was just toughening him up. Like, bro, this is how men wrestle. Wrestle. Move your feet. Do this. Do that. Tap out. Quick headlock. Quick leg pick. Ankle pick. Double leg. Things of that nature. Just to. But he's like, stop, and I'm like, there is no stop. You know what I mean? And same with the other my ex. My mom can't control me. Nobody can control me. And then that moment, I realized I had no control. I couldn't control my hands from touching her. I couldn't control my anger from spilling on over her. And here she is, full on fucking pregnant with my baby. And I didn't even see my baby. That bugs me. I saw a combatant, right? Kind of like what the guy said in Iraq. He didn't see children, he saw uh, non-combatants. That's what they call them. They don't even call them kids. Hey, she's got children. They're non-combatants. You start talking like a robot. You start dis, not disengaging, but you start to dismantle. Here comes another fucking plane overhead. Like for reals, I can't get away. To dismantle, like you can't be serious. To dismantle or disrespect somebody or minimize them means that you don't have to hold on to that amount of emotion, to that amount of respect, to that amount of reverence. So again, it's the him mentioning love scared me. It's like, I'm vulnerable. I can't be in love. Like, just love them. Yeah, I told my mom 20 years ago I had a tough time hugging people. And now it's my brother, and she's looking at us as adult males, these good looking sons that she made, but none of us have love in our hearts. None of us had the capacity for intimacy, for long-term relationships, for us to actually be open enough and trusting enough and vulnerable enough to let that happen. Instead, we're going to control everything. We're going to control the money. We're going to control our success. We're going to control our looks. We're going to control our home. We're going to be OCD. Everything's got to be clean. Get the maid, get everything ready, right? Got to have clean hands. But clean souls, to clean our souls of the abuse that happened to us in our childhood, to acknowledge that we are also a part, or I got to acknowledge it. Jeremy, not so much, but I'm not sure what he does in his life. You know what I mean? Like, we all can put on a good polish act, but Lord knows, I could sit there and tell my mom I'm not perverse. My mom, I'm a pervert. Like, I love to get my freaky on, but I'm a kinky monogamous. I'm not, let's sleep with another fucking plane, dude. Are you serious? I am not in control of the skies. I'm not in control of the cars. I'm only in control of me. And right now, I'm not gonna let that bug me. Yeah, right. It fucking annoys the shit out of me. I am not a saint. I'm much more of a sinner. That's why I call it mostly saints. because Saints did have an addiction. I had to keep it real that I'm not this perfect human being with nice, perfect teeth and everything's perfect with me. No, the moment you get intimate with me, you're gonna have to deal with my mood swings. You're gonna have to deal with my attitude adjustments. You're gonna have to deal with my bad attitude, and you're gonna have to deal with my fiery personality. And nobody wanted to deal with it. That's exactly what the girl told me. She said, nobody's going to deal with that. Nobody wants to deal with my PTSD. Nobody wants to deal with my prison stories. No one wants me to deal with my abuse. Nobody gives a fuck. As soon as you start disrespecting people and stop respecting them, then you will definitely get in another motherfucking car, and then definitely you will be in a situation where that stuff is where they tune out. Check please, like my brother said, check please. He's out. He's out, bro. He's not there anymore. And that's what really women are looking for. They're looking for if you're really there, dude. Are you really listening to them? Are you playing on the phone? Are you really treating the waiter nice? Or are you being condescending? Are you? They're judging us. Do you even have enough self respect for yourself to clean your hands and clean your face and clean your life up so you have something to look forward to? Most of us on mom's couch, still trying to be the man of the house, even though you didn't even buy a house. You haven't even put any work. A lot of those women like, how am I gonna get along? How am I gonna raise these kids? He contributes so much. He goes to prison for 8 months, and then she's like, why did I ever do that? I'm the one that's paying all the bills. This is my car, and I'm the only one taking care of these kids. That's where it is. The entitlement. I've been entitled my whole life. I've been um, raised the oldest. I got a lot of privileges for being the male firstborn. There's some male privilege there, and I kind of do wave it around. I don't take shit from no women. As soon as they get mouthy or disrespectful, they're gonna get the abusive side of me. I don't really like it. Like, as long as they stay cool and in my kind of control or in the zone that I felt control, or if I felt normal or I felt all right around them, then they wouldn't see that side of me. It's the ones that try to step up, like my friend Michelle. She got up one time, we were at my old shop, and said, you know what this place needs? It needs this and that. And I'm like, don't come in here telling me what it needs. Getting bad attitude, another car passing by. And not knowing that I had 5 seconds to just go, that's just her opinion, man, and let that shit go. No, I have to establish my dominance. I have to control the situation right then and there. You get what I'm saying? That was me. I was doing that, um, just there. I'm literally just there. I'm not another fucking airplane. And once I've gone there, I'm completely lost all cool. Car. This is all this stuff just trying to fuck with me. The universe is really fucking with me right now. And learning it from my mom, she was a meltdown artist, dude. Like, I mean, she's literally been in mental hospitals because, I mean, we call her crazy or whatever, but it's a lot to want to be a loving mother, and then you got this abusive father. And then her dad was pretty abusive too, so she didn't even see it that way. She didn't even see when they were in the line when my dad's like, I'll go with you. He was making a beer run for my grandpa, and he was getting beers for himself. He was getting chewing tobacco for himself. The tobacco's an addiction. The alcohol's addiction. She didn't see that. She's just used to seeing her father smoke a Camel pack a day, rum and coke. That's her dad. So why wouldn't she go and find a man that was strong-willed, abusive, and also tobacco addiction, alcohol addiction, violent addiction? It matched what she knew. And it was so sad for me to see that in my mom, to know that she's been through abuse. It made me see her in such different lights. Yesterday, I was literally talking about my father in that light, like he was Ramses, and how much respect I had for him for getting up early in the morning and going 3 a.m., 5 a.m., and showing up and doing hard ass construction work so we could eat. I had a whole new respect for him. And yesterday, I got to show my mom some respect, that she would put a roof over my head and still tolerate me and still love me, but also that she went through a lot of abuse. She didn't want to break up the family. Who fuck wants to do that? And here's my dad getting more and more raging, and more alcohol, and more cars coming by. It just stacks. And there's another car. Hope you guys run into each other. See, I'm being mean. You know, there it is inside of me. This ability where I just stop caring, and this wall comes up. And just like my brother Jeremy, this wall wasn't letting anybody in. I probably should use my brother's name, but it wasn't letting anyone in. And no wonder why, because we killed everyone outside of it. And I told my mom, it's not only a wall, but it's a, moat on the other side. My stomach's growling at me because I haven't eaten breakfast. So I'm gonna eat these mushrooms. But if it's outside of our control will, it almost doesn't exist. And if we don't respect you, then you don't exist. You're not actually human. You're just a child. You're just a woman. You don't get that vote. And now you get the toxicity of male toxicity where people like the Andrew Tates of the world, that's where he's getting it wrong. He talks about his father being a disciplinarian too and hitting him too. Now you know how he got taught. This is how us as men have developed these ideas. We start thinking this is manhood. And we literally think that our manhood is like reflective on how much control I got over my woman. And I see a lot of women that are near men and they won't even look up or look at anyone. And you think that's pretty cool. She's loyal. She won't look at anyone. Maybe she's afraid. She knows if she fucking even smiles or friendly to someone, as soon as they get into the car, he's like, bitch, what the fuck you doing? And slamming her head up against the window or doing some crazy shit because she made him do it. She made him react that way. If she didn't smile at that dude, she wouldn't be getting her head bashed up at the window. And that's the exact example, or not the exact example, example earlier, like I was saying, where it's dragging around on her hair around the apartment. This wouldn't be happening to you if you had done what I said to do. And there's the whole toxicity of men. You don't actually have to do what I tell you to do. You just need to know that this is our team. And if we don't have any co-symbionts, if we don't have any co-communication, then things aren't going to get done. As soon as we infight and start fighting each other, we lose energy. I tried that approach with my ex. We were out there by the lake, and instead of losing my calm, I said, look, me and you got a lot of power between each other. If we can just focus on something else instead of infighting, we can accomplish a lot. We broke away from each other, right? I said, you go do the dishes, I'll just do the tent. And what she do, she came over and tried to hand me something to help me with the tent. And I'm like, if you don't get the fuck away from me right now, I'm gonna lose my shit. I was annoyed by it because I simply gave her an instruction and she didn't want to follow any of the instructions. My little Aquarius, not mine anymore, um, um, always wanted to do for herself. I was talking about our kids, another fucking car being loud. I was talking about our kid having really dark hair, and she's like, or red, and it drove me nuts. It's like, why do you have to be such a contrarian? Why can't you just do what I tell you to do? And in her way, as an Aquarius, she would do the opposite just to show that she was free. And that infuriated me. It infuriated me that she would just walk away. She needed to walk away. I was acting out of sorts. I'm starting to get bowed up. Maybe not at that moment. She could have like talked to me and communicated with me. So that's what we can all do. We can all communicate. We're not always doing that. We're just gonna e- what's the word I want to look emote. I want to literally just a lot of emotions just spewing out of us, and we're emoting. I used to call it verbal vomit. So instead of communicating, now we're just emoting, right? We're not doing the thing that makes us better people. Now we're on a destructive path, and it starts being destroyed. And that's what's really scary about these situations. This is like now I'm destructive. And not only self destructive, but I'm a harm and a threat to the people around me. And that just fucking sucks, bro. That just guts me so hard. And that's where the shame is, that people don't talk about it no more. They don't want to mention that these things are happening. You don't want to admit that this beautiful family of yours is dysfunctional, that there's abuse in the household. And that's what's happening with the Duluth, Minnesota police chiefs. Is they actually had an issue. They did a third of them. They would arrest people. Someone had to get arrested in the domestic violence situation. Someone's going to jail tonight, and then leaving it. And they found that the leaving it was so much more worse. And now that's commonplace for all the domestic violence and all the cops outside, is that we can't communicate anymore. So we have to have a third party show up and separate us like children. Fuck you, car. Like children, right? You know, y'all can't even play nice in the sandbox, and now we're wondering what's going on with our lives. We couldn't control ourselves. Man, I don't have any cash on me. I was about to go get an apple and eat that with this. We can't control ourselves, so we try to control someone else. It is such a disaster of our lives. Fuck you, car again. I'm just sick of cars being near me. I'm just trying to find a quiet place in life. That I'm still destructive. I can still say fuck you. I can still stab myself in the back. The moment that I say fuck you is the moment that I'm fucking myself. And that was the aha moment of this thing, was just that I had been emotionally abused, physically abused my life, and therefore, and in that I have also abused physically. Now, I'm not punching any chicks in the corner or giving any black eyes, and I'm grateful for that. But I have rammed the back of this one that did the flowers, just like right in the back of her heels when I was really frustrated. I had the cart, I'll never forget. And she was just like, "What is wrong with you?" And many people have said that, like, "What's wrong with you?" And now is the day, today, hour and a half later, I can finally say, I know what's wrong with me. I know what's wrong with me. I know what's wrong with us as men. The definition that we use is masculinity, this form of control that we're supposed to have discipline and discipline ourselves and discipline our children and discipline our lives, is such a level that only works on us. It doesn't really work with children. Children don't understand consequences. It doesn't really work with women. Women only understand emotions. It's the way that we're making them feel. And in a results oriented world where we're looking for business, it's such a control. Well, do you have the money or not? Oh, now that you have the money, then now you're a customer, and now you have power over me to get me to print your shirts and do things when you need them to do. This is the kind of life that I was living. This is that kind of reality that I had created. I didn't even see it, because it's like, again, fuck you plane again. Another one. Like, why is there so much traffic out here? I'm not even near an airport. Why do I have to hear the jets overcast? I'm not quite sure. And of course, two cars come past, just so the universe can let me know that I am not in control, that this is a part of life, that it's not conveniently made around me. And that's part of the narcissism too, that in my world, it's my world. It's my way. It's my way or the highway. And my father was so much like that. And now I'm like that with other people. And I've done it, dude. I've done it where I push people away. The most beautiful woman I ever had, unfriended her. She's like, "Why did you unfriend me?" And I'm like, "Well, you didn't do what I needed you to do. Right? You were supposed to work with me, model with me, the Champs Convention, work the booth. You said you didn't want to, and now you're working the booth across from me. I felt slighted. I felt unsupported. So I unfriended you. And now I'm desperately trying to get her to be my friend, even just on social media. She's like, fuck you, you're a headache, bro. You're an uncontrolled headache." And how many of us are like that? How many of us are an uncontrolled headache? That we're just no help to a situation, and no sooner are we planning to be help in the situation. That's scary, dude. That's fucking scary. That I was no help to people, that I was a threat to people, that they didn't feel safe around me. And now I know why. For the first time in my life, I know why. I know why Saint has an addiction. It came from my father. He didn't like his childhood. I'm sure you don't want your walking on your dad molesting your sisters. I can't even imagine what my dad's been through, and yet he's never talked to me about it. There's some shame. That's what happens when you have incest and sexual abuse in not only families but in the churches too. And all these people are trying to be good people and look good on the outside, and lo and behold, the demons are there. The demons are in front of us. It's usually the dude that's smiling and he looks so good with his family. Is he punking his kids? Is he punking his wife? Is he making them flinch while he's reaching for the dishes? That whole episode, that Your Path episode, you guys are all welcome to get it. You guys have access to YouTube too. All these fucking cars. Of course, when that one went by, it went thumpity thump thump. It had extra for me. The universe is so fucking funny to teach me these lessons. And it was like, let me send you your spiritual mentor. Let him tell you that you're a warrior and that words shouldn't hurt warriors, and that I was being too emotional. He didn't say this, but it was like, I'm saying it, that I'm too emotional. My whole life, I just had things. And my poor brother, too. Our whole lives have been tumultuous, to say the least. And to not have to have that happen to us as children, to see the dismantling of our family, this atom was split. And just like a nuclear holocaust, as soon as it's split, that energy is just phenomenal. And we think phenomenal in a good way, but just beyond energy. So now this beyond energy puts me at 42 years old at something that I learned at
8, 7, 8, 9 years old, me and my brother were first talking about this and we were first growing up, that little kid, that's the kid that now is an adult. That's the kid that's now having to sacrifice his fucking mental stability for everything. It shaped my life. It shaped me in business transactions when I felt frustrated and like these cars and that loud engine and everything just that's where I start smoking weed. So now these little don't make me so edgy. And I'm sure people say that about beer too. You might just want a morning beer, so you take that edge off. And the edge is only like there for only that gap from what we are to what we experience is only about 5 seconds. There's that 5 seconds where it wells up in us and we can choose to beat it. We can choose to will it. We can choose to actually be a better version of myself. And I'm not always good at that. I'm being honest. I'm not always good at that. Just having, like, again, with my best friend, and he kind of, the way his tone was, brought the tone out of me, and then I'm going to show dominance. And you're not going to just talk to me any way, which way you want to, and let me tell you about yourself. And then that's what Terry Prince was telling me. That's the black in you. I'm like, get a secretary, bro. Just, can you text me this and what's the address? I'm like, you need a secretary, bro, and I'm not him, like I tell people, he's like, Mark, I thank you for keeping me in my place, and he thanked me for it. Instead of arguing me with it, fuck you, another car. But that's what ended up happening, right? It's one of those things where, he is thanking me for it. He is saying, I need you to be a certain type of way. And this person's just staring at me, Karen. And he's being a certain type of way. And you're just like, man, if I could get out of my own way, if I could be the way that I want to be, when this motherfucker walking by the car, I didn't know a long time. I must have been in contact with 50 people on this one show in the last 2 hours and some flies. I forget to breathe. It'd probably be the biggest asset of my life is to be able to slow down and breathe and control my breathing and control my habits and control my response rate. I just fully emotional. It came out of PTSD and coming out of prison. I was like, I had a choice to let people know. And in that's also prison work too. The 48 Laws of Power, they don't even let guys watch that or read that book because it's just a lot about control mechanisms and controlling other people. But that's our world. In that business world, in a prison situation, there's a lot of dominance and Machiavelli shit going on. In a relationship, in a family, it has no place in it. That's your team. And for most of me in my life, I would treat my team with me being the leader, and I would lead with fear and intimidation and not with and coercion and not with cooperation and understanding and not all the times because I have teamworks and things that went off smooth and stuff, but the team, I fired my own team basically. I fired everybody that was around me at any moment. Just go off with their heads. Has anybody ever else done that with the people that you loved, where you cut off their heads and now they had no head left to or heart or love for you? And it might work and probably didn't work for him that well in the 16th century, but you're looking at Henry VIII, the toxicity of male error, where he's a big dude, he's bigger than life, big 50-inch waist, big calves. He thinks he's the big man on campus. But as soon as one of the women that were in love with him didn't do things the way he wanted to, or the church, he was the Trump of his time. He was going to intimidate them, discredit them, make them for this is male toxicity, and that's why people don't want any part of it, because it isn't healthy. You don't have to tear people down and establish dominance. You don't have to fucking own them or control them or have more money than them. This is why the guy was saying this. The other guy, another fucking plane overhead. But that's what he was saying. He's the guy that used to do the Mike Tyson hot box show. He's an old football player. And he said, and that's where men get it wrong. We think that women only want to see us with money and in control, and like we got control of our finances, and as long as we have that, that's what they're looking for. That's so bullshit, bro. That's not what they're looking for. They're looking for that you're not going to change up on them. That what you are selling them on the first date is going to be there in 5 years. They've seen it multiple times through multiple men and probably themselves too. You know, the abuse isn't just from my dad, it came from my mom too. You know what I mean? Like both of them are abusive. She'd like to pretend to be the victim. And I mean, yesterday we let her play that role because I was being respectful and loving, but she's also hit me. She's also hit my sibling. She's also yelled. There's been plenty of verbal abuse from my mom. And now, you know, because of her psychoticness, everybody's learned to kind of stay away from her. And then she's also been lonely. And now my siblings won't even talk to her. So, you know, it's one of those things where it's the shame of our family. It's the black eye of my life. It's the other side. You know, we all talk about it. Car, fuck you, fuck you. And when we all talk about it, it's that kind of energy, you know, where most of us don't want to admit it, but our childhood has developed us. We come from a certain place, a certain environment, and it's shaped us. Your parents have shaped you, your environment has shaped you, and to grow up and have some kind of a job and emotional regulation, that's what people are looking for. They're looking for some consistency and steadiness, and fuck you another car, fuck you another car. And that's going to be hard to do. I mean, it's easy for a lot of these other people, and fuck you another car. It's easy for a lot of people because they're over here staring at me instead of staring at their lives. We're outwardly obsessed. We want to see what kind of car you're driving instead of maximizing the safety and comfortability that I have in my car. We much rather concerned with other people judging what kind of car we drive, what kind of clothes that we have. It's such an external thing than actually showing who we really are. And that's what confidence is, saying this is who I am. You know, I'm flawed and all, you know, mostly saints, fuck you another car, you know. And that's where it's at. That's where it was like aha for me. It's so deep for me to see yesterday, and so new, fuck you another car, you know. To see this is like a small apartment complex, or not even like a I don't even know why. Anyway, the point was is I needed to focus, you know, and identify myself and what my weaknesses are and what I can work on. Instead of trying to control other people, I need to control myself, be able to control my mood. Instead of losing my temper, you know, I got to be able to control that. That's what they're looking for. A lot of people, when they're doing, you know, work and stuff, you know, we only want to see certain amount of things. You know, as long as you show up, we don't care what your home life's like. It's only your work life that we care about. Most people, their only existence is in the work life, because as soon as they get home, they're alone. And again, that's what Matthew Perry was saying. That's the devil's playground. Home alone is when you masturbate too much. Home alone is when you're doing hard drugs. Home alone is where the bad habits breed. The idle hands is the devil playground. You're trying to get busy with your hands instead of getting busy with your hands, or getting busy with your hands, you know. Like we again, I wish our triggers would do something constructive for ourselves. I wish humans were built that way, where we didn't have negative self-talk and beat ourselves up and criticize ourselves and be critical of ourselves in our own brain. Fuck you another car. Like, they're just so close to me right now. Anyway, my point is just that, you know, I don't have control over traffic. I don't have control over planes. I only have control over myself, and controlling my breathing. I have no control over the message. It is what it is. You know, it's going to be received by the people that are going to receive it. And for all the males that are out there, I hope this hits in a very clickbaity kind of way, because that word male toxicity, a lot of women like to throw it around, but there is toxic as men too, using passive aggressiveness or outright aggressiveness and not being a help to the situation. It's like a motherfucker coming around right now, and I'm fully flustered. Like, this guy just drove past and now he's driving past again. It's like someone coming over and tapping you, you know, someone sits that annoying tiger by the tail. There's some people that are going to go, you know, and hopefully you have a wife like this or a girlfriend like this is going to say, hey, babe. And hopefully you have enough trust in them too, to not trip out. No, fine. You know, now I'm not opening up to you. Fine. You know, leave me alone. Man cave. There's sometimes that men are going to have to process things that way. We might need that 10-15 minutes timeout. Hopefully you have a woman that lets you have that timeout, lets you have time with your friends, isn't lurking around. My buddy, I was at his house and she was starting to dust. It's like, you can't dust downstairs. You can't dust any other time. You have to be right near us the only time. And I haven't seen him in a couple years, and you can't even spare us an hour. Yeah, she was that kind of girl. Control freak, nosy, interruptive, and it annoyed me. And I told him about it. And I'm like, yo, man, one of these times we can hang out, fuck you again, without your girlfriend around. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, can we do a real men's thing? We end up doing some cool stuff too. But, that's what we do. That's us, bro. We start dating these people, and my buddy's short, so he's gonna put up with her and her kids and how much her expenditure and letting them live in the house. He's had to do that multiple. She thinks it's just her. I've seen him do it 3 different women, and the first time she fucking almost kidnapped his ass. He went all the way into the military to get down his debt, and she's off spending all his money, and I never heard from him again. So, like, we're risking a lot. People want to just get laid. There's this hookup culture. There's this what's it called? Situationships. Is because we can't handle the situation. We can't handle the amount of energy that somebody that is on the control and power wheel. I'm too much energy. I've just been talking and air's been trapping. Anyway, fuck you another car. Fuck you another car. Fuck you another car. It's just everywhere. And there's going to be a day where food isn't going to save us, because I just saw a chunky chick roll by. We're going to do that things when we're home alone. Let me get some biscotti. Let me get some cookies. Let me get some sugar. That'll make me feel better, right? Maybe I'm hungry. I just need some food. Maybe you're just bored and you don't even know it. There's a lot of that going on in our lives, and that's what I'm just reaching out to people and letting them know that that's what's really happening. When we're in this world, we bring us with it. Wherever you go, there you are. You're bringing your past, you're bringing your experience, which is a wealth of information and knowledge in itself, and you're bringing your emotions. And I don't think a lot of us have noticed how much we're bringing to the table. When people ask you, what do you bring to the table? Most people are thinking about providing like money and security and safety. And more than that, how about you making me feel safe around you? Fuck that dog. That's something that's pretty hard to do, making us feel secure, right? Making us feel comfortable. If you really want a lot of women, you're going to do the Errol Flynn thing. They said Errol Flynn was like having 2 martinis. He was so smooth. I was so comfortable around him. My panties almost fell off. This is someone's autobiography. You want people to melt their panties off? You want them to constantly call you? You want to be invited to things? Help them feel better about themselves. Like, you help them feel calmer, help them feel safer, help them feel like you're a safe harbor, and you can give that energy back without delivering your bad energy back to them. You'll be the most popular motherfucker since sliced bread. And that's something that I'm not seeking for popularity. I'm seeking for explanation. That it was like, yo man, hey boy, I ain't finished with my thought yet. Like that, I ain't finished with my thought yet. That's why I did 2 hours today. I wasn't finished with this deep thought that changed my life, that I was abused as a kid, and I have been abusive. And it's not my proud moment. I could have kept being this dominant, control motherfucker, and it probably would have worked with the right woman who was submissive. And maybe that's what I needed, was submissive. I didn't want somebody to just do as I told them to do. I don't think anybody wants a slave, a real slave. We want them to be an entity. We want them to be a being. We want them to be a trophy. And in that trophy, more than just being a trophy wife, but this energy that makes me feel like I'm winning, and I give them back that feeling that they're winning. When they're around me, that they're calmer, that they're better, and I'm leaving them better from knowing me. I always thought that, and I always wanted that, but I didn't always get that. I got a lot of people that are old friends, and they're not with me anymore. They're not doing it anymore. They don't want anything to deal with me anymore, because they already said Mark's a lot of energy. He's all over the place. He's basically bipolar, manic depressive, manic aggressive, psychotic, mean. Mark ain't. I heard that a lot. Not a saint. And that's when I started doing it. I was like, you know what? You're right. I am Saints Addiction. I am mostly Saints. I am not this perfect deity of a person. I have control issues. I tend to manipulate people. I'm only in relationships where I can manipulate and win. I only look for what I'm winning instead of what I'm respecting. And I'd be winning if I was respecting. How do I respect? How do I become respectful? Where do I find my grace? Where do I find my love? Where do I find my understanding? This is what I've been working on, because if I come from that position, if I can control myself for that anxiety for 5 seconds, 10 seconds of bravery, if I can control my response and not be snippy, not emotional vomit, not overshare. You know, I don't know if any other people do that too. I'm pretty much oversharing right now because it's 2 hours, but it's such a thick subject that it just baffled me. I mean, I really digested all these videos yesterday. I just fucking went in because I like the way the guy's speaking, but he's been in a prison. He's talked to these guys and asked them, how does your brain work? You know, just talking to them. And then it's like, it becomes ownership. You know, we take ownership of people. We take not priority, but we also take, what's that thing when you privilege. We take the privilege. You go, I'm a man, you got to respect me. And there's a lot of women that might work on that under that scenario. I'm a sub, I don't mind you being a dom, but they're also going to be a day where they're going to need to be heard. They're going to need to be respected too. They're going to have to call the shots. Like the guy said, you're undermining them. He doesn't even know it, but he's undermining her ability to teach her own children, because he has so much authority and so much abuse that when mom says something, nothing even fucking happens. So, I mean, we're all kind of doing that to each other, maybe not knowing, but that's why I do this show. That's my message to give. This is my devotion. It's not only mental health matters, which I mentioned at the time, but it's also having mental control, some kind of impulse control. Because if we're always constantly going out there trying to seek it, grab it from somewhere else, we're not getting it. I've been reaching and trying to control water, and it's just skipping out of my hand. I didn't stop to breathe and come up with a different technique of care and gentleness and to hold that water. I'm like, fuck it, fuck water. Everybody's gonna let me down anyway. Fuck women, they're just nothing but trouble. You know, listening to my dad, because he got burnt in his relationship, his divorce. He doesn't say I was an alcoholic, I should not have put hands on my mom. No, she's the she dog from hell, and women are always gonna fuck with you. Listen to me, Cleopatra. Listen to me, whatever her fucking name, Sir Lancelot and Guinevere. You know, that broke up these kingdoms, broke up these castles. Women are destroyers. And when I dated my ex, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, she just destroyed a family. She just had to break. I don't know if he was being abusive to her or not, but in some forms it sounds like she is. But, you know, and I don't know if she's owning up to her crazy and driving a man to where she's trying to threaten to kill people, but and lose her custody of her children. These are huge. We're judged by it too, you know, not having a relationship with a father, red flag, you know, freshly divorced, red flag, not having custody of her children, 3 red flags in a row. And I just let them hit me upside the head. Maybe you're not perfect for me, Miss M, but, you know, I thought you were perfect for me. I did. I really did. I really thought, even after our bumps and stuff, I thought we were going to make it through. I didn't think this was going to turn into an abortion. I didn't think it was going to turn into her not talking to me. And of all the people, she's like, I'm one of the many. This is the one I wish we did talk, you know? I wish we did have conversations. Like, I can't go nowhere. Fuck this guy on his bike, bro. Like, for reals, dude. What's up, bro? I don't want to have violence with you, but this dude's loud as fuck on the fucking bike. Trying to look at me and do wheelies and this fucking loud ass shit, bro. Like, there's no calm in it, you know? And if there's no calm, then there's no respect. And this guy's coming back again just to be a douchebag, bro. Look at this thing. You are a douchebag. And he's smiling at it. He doesn't even know he's being a douchebag. I'm on the phone, bro. I'm on the phone.
You recording?
Yeah, I'm on the phone.
Hell yeah.
I'll see you later.
Thanks.
Yeah. People and attention. It smells like a lawnmower. I'm trying to talk on the phone. You're recording? And I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to have some personal time by myself, and he's not helping. He's just going back and forth, annoying. So that's what we do. We haven't changed our strategy. We just kept being annoying, and we kept doing it and kept doing it till we pissed people off and been disrespectful and not helpful. And I'm guilty of that. I've been disrespectful, not helpful. Now it smells like a fucking lawnmower just went by. There's gasoline in the air and it's loud and disrespectful. I don't think he knows that he was doing that. I'm probably sure he woke up a baby doing that. I don't think we know that we're harming other people. I don't think that we know that we're being disrespectful. Toxicity, he's probably just getting that angst, that same out of him. Just, if I can just whip this car, if I could just do a couple wheelies, I'm gonna get away from this kid because he's about to annoy the shit out of me, bro. I mean, like, really annoy the shit out of me. Let's go.
and I don't want to yell at people, and I don't want to make contact, and I don't want to deal with stupid motherfuckers. So let me get out of the way. Let me pull out when there's another car pulling out. Let me pull away from motherfuckers that are being crazy. Let me let other people look at me like they're crazy and just get away, so I can be a better human at the end of the day. So I can be that person, that saintly motherfucker, and actually show up in my life. That's what I want. You know, I want to be able to show up in my life. And I haven't been able to really do that because of my anxiety, because of my temper, because of me not seeing that I was being toxic. And that's why I wanted to share with everyone today, is that people are toxic. We can be very toxic. We can be no help for ourselves or others. And that's a scary situation, because all of us are seeking help. All of us are seeking closure. All of us are seeking calm. And that's what I wish people to have, is some kind of calm. You know, this dude on his car, not calm. This other dude walking past me while I'm trying to go through, he looks calm, but I don't want to be near him. You know, it's beards on shirts, and then there's another car, and then there's another thing, and it's just so many different things that I can't even get away from this dude because he's fucking annoying. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we have to deal with. We have to deal with people that have no common sense, no common respect, no common decency, and then they wonder why he's an incel, that women won't deal with him, won't want to be around him, won't want to fucking deal with the bullshit, because that's what we're doing. We're bringing our bullshit. And now, like, he's kind of following me, and I'm like, get away from me, bro. Like, that's what we do. Instead of making situations better, and that's what I want to do. I want to be able to make situations better. I hope somebody gets something better out of this fucking message, because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted people to be better for knowing me and not hurt and not misunderstood. I'm like trying to get away from this dude, and he just you're recording, I'm being loud, it's all about me. And you're like, I'm trying to get away from you. Went down the block. Guess where he did? Went down the block. Then he turned around and tried to follow me. Then he tried to take a left because I took a left. And now I'm sitting at a green light like, please get me away from someone so I don't put hands on someone. And now I have control instead of somebody else getting me to throw hands. Does that make any sense to anybody else? I sure hope so. So as I pull up to the house and I get away from retards and stupidity and other sorts of bullshit that's going on, and all the slow people driving, or the misunderstandings, or all the other people feeling like I feel, right? You know, like I just couldn't deal with it anymore. I didn't want to feel like they felt anymore. I didn't want to be stuck in traffic. I didn't want to be, and that's when we get arrested too. When I start speeding and I'm mad and I want nothing to do with any of this shit anymore, and you're right there, not another fucking plate, I'm trying to balance all these plates, but not another fucking word or plate. I think you've been there, and I think you've been there with me, and that's where Saints addiction kicks in, and then I'm like smoking weed, and then I'm overeating, or just doing whatever it takes so I can feel safe and normal. And I just now realized that. So just much like what the girl was saying earlier, where she's like, I just now started to see myself act like that I over purchase things so I can get people to love me. So I do things that make things the way that make me feel comfortable, and I fight tooth and nail for my comfortability level, but I didn't fight tooth and nail for my life level. Right? So like it's something that we're all fighting for. We dress up our houses, we put decorations in them, we do all sorts of things so that our house is in order. But this house here, still not in order. So that's where I'm at in my life. That's what we're talking about. That's where I'm at with my life. This is where I'm at with my life, is this kind of, I want my brain to be in order. More than my finances or my house or my car, all those things. Most people are like, yeah, I need those things in order. But unless you have yourself in order, you're never going to get your finances in order, because you're always going to be at the whim of your emotions or whatever else is happening. You're never going to be able to, is this kid again, dude? Oh my God, he's just going around the neighborhood terrorizing. I literally just took a left and he just came around the neighborhood again. I got to get away from an antagonist. People that antagonize me and try to fuck with me. I have the power to get away from them. And that's what was happening with my ex. She just walked away from me and our relationship and our child, and I drove her away from me.
So that's something that I have to be in reality with. That's something that I had to come to grips with, and it's been quite the grip, to be able to sit there in life and just go, shit, that's my mistake, and shit, that's these guys' mistake by leaving their trash straight out of their car. Like, who kind of fucking does that shit? Other people's kids, some people's kids. Well, this kid has learned to be a better kid. There's even a bike over here. There's just no respect. Anyway, I'm getting off of this. I'm gonna go do my mushrooms now. I'm gonna do them in a private moment. I need a private moment, but if anybody that spent some time with me today, thank you for listening. I hope you got something really out of this. If you can comment below what you got out of this, that would be tremendous too. I want other people to find this healing. This male toxicity stuff has to stop. So on my heart, from the start, it's your boy Marquis Saints Addiction, the LBOG, and I want you guys to be free. So go be free. Peace and love, and as always, Chigathon. That means goodbye, but not forever. Till I see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, and subscribe. Ciao. Have a blessed day.